In all of the lectures so far, we were exploiting SQL injections manually. So we were injecting the code into the URL or into the text boxes. In this video, I'm going to show you a tool called SQLmap, which allows you to do everything we learned so far and even more stuff. This tool can be used against MySQL databases, which the one that we were having the example on. It can also be used against Microsoft SQL, Oracle, and other database types. The tool is very useful and is very handy in many cases. Sometimes the injections aren't as nice as the one we see. Sometimes you only get one output for each record and you have to loop through all the outputs. So the tool can automate that and just do everything for you much easier and much simpler. So let's first of all get the URL that we were using for the injection. So I have that text file here that we were using, and I have the URL that we were using before. So it's the userinfo.php, username is admin, password admin pass. You don't really need to know the username and password, so I'm actually just going to put anything here. So just to assume that we don't know the password. So we're only injecting SQL injections. We don't really need to know any of this stuff. All I'm going to do is copy this, and then I'm going to run SQLmap. And I'm going to do U to specify the URL, and I'll put my target. And I'm going to make sure that I have it between two quotation marks so that it doesn't ignore anything in any signs in the middle. So we have some signs and characters in the middle that I wanted to all be treated as one URL. So all I did is SQLmap U my target. And I'm going to hit enter, and the tool will automatically look through all the parameters. So it's going to look through the user info, through the username and the password to see if any of them is injectable. And then once it does that, it's going to store it in its memory. So it's going to know that this is injectable, and then we'll be able to further exploit the target. So as you can see now, it's thinking that our target could be MySQL or PostgreSQL. It's asking me if it should skip other tests, and I'm going to say yes because I know it's MySQL. And now it's asking me if it should do all the tests for both databases, and I'm going to say yes, assuming that I'm not sure which one it is. I know it's MySQL, but I'm just going to let it do its thing, and we'll see if it can do it properly or not. So at the moment, it's checking if it's PostgreSQL, and I'm assuming it's gonna know that it's not, and then it's gonna know that it's MySQL. It just found out that the username seems to be injectable, and sure enough, it's telling us here that the parameter username is vulnerable, and we can inject it. So it's asking me, do I want to check the other parameters, such as the password and all of them? I can say yes and let it do it, but I'm gonna say no because I don't mind if it just uses the username for the injection, so it's all good. Now SQLmap knows that the target is injectable, and it knows that it's going to use the username parameter to inject stuff. And we can see that it figured out that it's running Linux Ubuntu, and it figured out that it's using PHP with Apache 2.2.8, and it's using MySQL server as the database server. So let's run SQLmap help and see what we can do now. Now this tool is really big and it allows you to do a lot of things. So in this video, I'm actually just going to show you a quick look on the video, and I recommend you spend more time with it and try to see what else you can do with it. Okay, so let's try to get the current user, and we're going to try to get the current database. So we're going to use the same command that we used before, and I'm just going to add to it dbms to get the current databases, or dbs, sorry. As you can see, we got all the database that we have. So we have dbwa, we have information schema, Metasploit, MySQL, OWASP10, which was the one that we were exploiting before, and TikiWiki. Now, if we do current user, you can see that we are root. And if I do current database, we'll see that OWASP10 is our current database. So now let's try to get the tables for OWASP 10. So remember when we did select table name from information schema.tables, where table name, where table schema is equal to OWASP 10. We're gonna let SQLmap do all of that for us. And so the command is going to be, we're gonna ask it to get all the tables for us. And we're gonna use the D option to specify the database. And our database is going to be called OWASP 10. And as you can see, it got us all the tables that exist. And remember, it's the same. We got accounts, blogs table, and the credit card as well. And now if we want to get the columns, then we can use the same command again. And we're going to say, get me the columns, where the table is called accounts, and the database is OWASP 10. And right here we can see that we got the columns. So we have the isadmin, the password, and the username. And we can get the data using the dump option. So it's the same command that we used before. So we're getting from the table that's called accounts and the database that is called OWASP 10. I want you to get me all the data. And here we go. We got all the data. We have the admin, its password admin pass, and we have Adrian, and his password is some password, and we got all the data right here. So as I said, the tool is very useful. It can be used to make our life much easier, and it does everything automatically, and it can do everything we did, and it can even do more stuff.